It's January 7th, and the chronological Bible reading for today is Job, chapters 14 through 16. Anyone born of woman is short of days and full of trouble, Job says in chapter 14, verse 1. Isn't that true? That with the proper perspective, this life is incredibly short, and it's painful. There are a lot of difficult times. The question keeps coming up in my mind, what is the point? Why do we have to be here? Why did God create this earth and put us on it? Why do we have to die? Why do we have to eat or sleep? And I believe as we endeavor to understand why we're here, we get to know God better. If we do it honestly, if we use the scriptures that are given to us in the Bible, He teaches us more and more. This book is so difficult, and sometimes I feel like I'm a broken record saying the same thing every single day. And if I'm honest, I have more questions than I do answers. As Job and his friends are going back and forth pointing blame at one another, Job is asking them to please help him instead of accusing him. Why don't they help him? And I find that very interesting because I feel like a lot of Christians today don't know how to really help somebody when they're going through a difficult time like Job was. Have you ever been having a bad day or experiencing some loss and you share what you're going through to an extent with somebody who asks how you're doing because you think they really want to know the answer? Maybe you know they don't really want to know how you're truly doing, but you're just so desperate to get what you're feeling off of your chest that you use that opportunity to say, I'm really not doing well. I lost a loved one. I'm not well physically. I'm questioning my faith in God because of all of this calamity that's taking place around me. I'm not doing well at all, but thank you for asking. In that instance, when you are that vulnerable with someone, what's their response? Most of us have learned to not share what's truly going on, what we're struggling with, because we've learned that if we do, people will respond in a couple different ways. A lot of times people will kind of check out. They don't know what to do with that, so they just move on. Maybe they'll excuse themselves politely and just move away. Other people who are well-meaning might start throwing Bible verses at us. Someone who's especially bold might just put their hand on our shoulder and start praying for us right away. But most people probably will start telling a story of when they experienced something similar, or maybe not very similar, but they have a habit of taking the focus away from you and your pain that you're dealing with and sharing their own story of loss and how they dealt with it. And unintentionally, they are shifting the focus from you and your problem back to themselves. What if we as a people learned to cultivate a culture in which it was normal and best to, instead of doing any of those other things, we asked the person who's hurting what they would like us to do for them? How would it be different for you if when you shared something that is so heavy on your heart that you're dealing with, instead of being prescribed something from someone who doesn't even take the time to understand and bear your burden with you, what if they gave you agency and said, how can I best serve you right now? Would you like me to pray with you and for you? Would you like me just to stop what I'm doing and pray right here, right now, or just do it as the Lord brings remembrance throughout my week until I see you again? Would you like to jump on a phone call or have coffee later to talk more about these things? Would you like to hear a Bible verse that has come up in my spirit that I feel like might be applicable to what you're going through? Would it be helpful for you if I shared stories of when I felt like I was in a similar position and how I dealt with that? Would that be helpful for you? In Job 16, Job calls his friends miserable comforters. He says, is there no end to your empty words? What provokes you that you continue testifying? If you were in my place, I could also talk like you are. I could string together words against you and shake my head at you. but instead I would encourage you with my mouth, and the consolation from my lips would bring relief. Maybe we don't share with other people because the words from their mouths don't bring relief. But what if we, like Job, instead of like Job's friends, were focused on giving people what they need? If you'd like to talk more about how to deal with heavy emotions, I have this great resource for you. Shoot me a message and I'll share it. Thank you so much for being with me today. May God bless you as you continue seeking Him. May He fill you with His Spirit, give you all the fruits of His Spirit, the attributes of His character evident in your own life as you become more and more like Him. And I pray that God would bless us, that He would help us love Him more and love other people well for His glory, for the advancement of His kingdom, and that we all might benefit together. See you tomorrow.